Hello guys, gals, and non-binary pals. Welcome back to my channel. I normally stay away from commentary videos, but I did not see any of my favorite commentary YouTubers talk about this, so I felt the need to kind of talk about this. I'm kind of scared because I don't really think I have that many coherent thoughts, but I'm still gonna try because this is important. I feel like people should speak about this, and I feel like there's a bit of a reason why no one's really speaking about this, so I just wanted to be the one to do this. Oh gosh, I'm regretting this, but it needs to be said, so I'm gonna say it. Yeah, so today I'm gonna be talking about the recent rise in Asian American hate crimes. I know that there's been a lot of hate crimes worldwide, but I'm specifically focusing on America because America's its place. I'm not gonna be talking about the hate crimes themselves. I'll be talking about what these hate crimes reveal about people's mindsets, their biases. I'm not gonna be censoring any of the words I use, so I'm not gonna curse, obviously, but people don't want to say what it is, but they know what it is. You know what I mean? If it's racism, it's racism. If it's homophobia, it's homophobia. I'm gonna call it what it is because this is straight up racism. What is the model minority myth? For those who don't know, it was created by a sociologist named William Peterson. He argued that Asians, specifically East Asians, had the ability to achieve socioeconomic success compared to other marginalized groups because it was and still is such a white-centric world. They wanted to make sure that they were liked and loved by white people, and so they tried their best to be that model minority, i.e. good grades, become a doctor, marry a doctor, overachieve to get half the praise from them. And this helped push the idea that white people were elite, and in order to be valuable, you have to be valued by white people. However, this created BIPOC solidarity issues. It seems like now there's not a lot of people speaking up for the Asian community except for the Asian community themselves. And I think it's a theory, I'm not sure, it's a theory. It's because of the model minority myth. And a lot of BIPOC solidarity does not happen because we're always trying to fight for our own rights. And it seems that like whenever we're fighting for our rights, no one's fighting with us. Nowadays, especially, like, people are reluctant to speak up for other groups' issues, especially when they're trying to fight for their own. They don't want to fight for their own group's issues and like change for their own group because they feel like if they join someone else's fight, then their own fight will be forgotten. And additionally, they don't think that the other group has fought enough for their group, so they don't feel like helping them out, and it's just going to be this endless cycle where no one's going to help anyone and no one's going to get anywhere. However, despite the model minority myth and despite them being valued as elites by the white people, they still face racism on a daily basis, which is normalized. I'm going to talk about part of the reasons why I think these hate crimes are happening. Yes, obviously COVID-19, but I don't want the reason to stop at COVID-19 because this goes way beyond COVID-19. It started up way before that, but like it increased because of COVID-19, but like it goes way beyond that. I'd like to ask you guys something. Name at least 5 Asian characters, including South Asian, in a children's show who don't have an accent or broken English. I'll wait. You can't, can you? I understand. The only person that I can think of is Sanjay from Sanjay and Craig. I mean, almost everyone has an accent or broken English, and that's, for the most part, always ending up as the butt of a joke. So, we have that. If there was more positive representation in especially children's shows, then this wouldn't be that big of a deal. It would just be like, oh, okay, they messed up there. They have other good and positive representations, but there's not that many. Or at least the characters were good, but they were making fun of themselves because of their race and their culture, or someone else was making fun of them for that, and kids were taught to laugh at that. So, and it teaches, you know, others how to react to Asian people and their culture, and it teaches Asian Americans how to react to their culture and how they see themselves, basically. Additionally, some representation in PG-13 movies are extremely violent and borderline psychotic, so some people can't process and differentiate between TV and real life because, you know, nowadays the lines are very much blurred, especially with reality TV, so it kind of gets crazy. And these people may end up presenting those characters like and have so much hatred for those characters, but they can't do anything to those characters because they're characters. They aren't real. But you know who's real? Asian Americans, and they just might react and project onto those characters without even realizing that they're doing that. A lot of men or boys or male presenting characters in the media for Asian Americans are constantly like the nerd stereotype, or just people who are weak or someone who's easily pushed around. And on some adult sites, if you get what I'm saying, They're constantly portrayed as wimpy and or shrimpy. Also, if you are short, studious, whatever, not athletic, there's nothing wrong with that. I'm just pointing out how the media is basically trying to invalidate and make Asian American male presenting people seem inferior. Because they do that, people think that they're pushovers and they think that they can do anything to them. See you and just feel that rage and hatred that they felt for that character, or feel for how they've always seen Asians, because not a lot of people know an Asian person. Not a lot of people have seen or interacted with one in real life, so they only have that view of how they see them in the media, so they react like that in real life. So yeah, representation is important. Good representation is important. Positive representation is important. And also with female presenting characters, they're often really hypersexual in TV shows, movies, and other entertainment places, if you know what I mean. Obviously stems from when countries would take over another country, and you know what they would do to the woman. I don't, ugh, nasty. Because of that, and especially heavily on the adult places, they would often portray them as obedient, very promiscuous and hypersexual. Once again, if you are hypersexual, it's not a bad thing. It's just with this constant portrayal, like they're hypersexual, you know, if that's all people are seeing, and once again, if they've never seen an Asian person, never interacted with one before, and that's the only view that they've seen them in, all that stuff that they're consuming, like that's how they think that they should react to people in real life. They'll go up to someone, assume that's how it's gonna work out. It doesn't. They get angry because it's like, you're not reacting the way I thought you would, and then, you know, violence, nasty. That could also be another factor in it, and I feel like that's important to point out, because representation, like I said, it's so important, because if you're not like seeing a bunch of different sides to someone, you're only going to see that one constant portrayal of them, and you're going to assume that's how everyone is in real life. I did not stress that point enough in my Why Black Armies Are So Mad with the Life Goes On music video, and how I stress representation. I did not stress it enough. This is why I'm saying representation is so important, because they take that, they internalize that, and they project. And if things don't go out the way that they thought they would, because that's the way they were taught how to react and how things would work out, if things don't work out that way, they're going to react. And it goes way beyond like a virus. That definitely like emboldened them and made them feel like this is what we got to do, but it goes way beyond that. So now I want to talk about influencers and celebrities. It's no secret that non-Asian celebrities only really speak up when they see it as a benefit. Like the Asian celebrities don't always speak up about it because, you know, it's exhausting. But when their allies go to speak up about this, the ones who have a platform, a really big platform with a lot of people who are children and impressionable, will listen to anything you say and do. So when they're not speaking up about this, and when they're not condemning it, their audience is going to see it as, oh, it's not a big deal. And when they don't speak about it, even though they acknowledge that someone said that, especially when they repeat what someone wrote to them, and then they decide that they're not going to because they don't want to say the wrong thing. Yeah, you might say the wrong thing. You don't want to seem like you're performative or whatever, but you staying silent altogether is complacency. You need to speak up, because you're not helping anything, and you're teaching your audience not to speak up for them either. And once again, your audience is predominantly children. They're going to look up to, especially since recently influencers are being looked up to more than celebrities, even though most of the influencers who are popular are the bad ones. You're teaching your audience horrible practices on how to be an activist, be an ally, help other people who need it. You hold a lot of power that you're aware of, but whenever it's time to do something that's helpful and useful, you don't want to help. You took on this responsibility. You know it's a responsibility. You have too much power over these people, and it's at this point, if you don't speak up, come on, at least condemn it. You might not know what else to say. You might not know any links or resources, but please do something, because that's bare minimum. That's bare minimum. This video is bare minimum, okay? This is the bare minimum. We can all handle the bare minimum, okay? We got it. Okay, social media and the news. I'm gonna get into that. I haven't seen it on commentary YouTube. I haven't seen it on the news. I found it through Instagram because one of my other friends was talking about it and put it in their story. So that's how I found it. Once again, people with large platforms, or people who are just on social media for the most part, get their news from social media and their influencers. They don't go to the news anymore. They don't look up articles. They don't get newspapers. I don't know anyone who does that, except for, like, I don't know, my grandparents. Yeah, those are the only two people I know who do that. And for the most part, people only look on social media for stuff that's trending. And if it's not trending, then they're not looking. But also don't let this become a trend, because it's not. These are people's lives at stake. Please don't. Since so many people who have those large platforms are not speaking out about this, there's less attention on it, so it's less trending. So there's not a lot of people who know about this. I understand if you don't know about this. I mean, it's no one's talking about it, and it's crazy. It feels like no one's talking about it, at least. Now we're going to talk about saviorism and true allyship really quick before we get to the end. Too many people feel like they're doing Asian Americans a favor whenever they speak out about this. In Instagram live, like, hey guys, I'm just here with my little dog. And you know, I've been reading the news, and it's making me really sad to see all this. And you know, racism's bad. Yeah. Good night. Love you guys. Oh my gosh. Oh, don't forget to buy my makeup. What was that? One, you're not doing anyone a favor, especially if it's fake. If it is sincere, it's like a quick second. You barely took any of the time to talk about it and re-talk about it. Like, I don't know, reiterate what you were talking about. That's what I mean. Speaking about it one time, people have short attention spans. They might have missed it the first time, or they might just say, oh, it's a one and done thing. It's not that important. If it was important, someone would have repeated it, you know. Please repeat it. Please at least do it like multiple times, you know. It's important. I know a lot of influencers and celebrities who really don't speak up about issues unless one, they have personal ties to it, or two, they feel like they're gonna get something out of it. That should not be the driving force, like, to speak up about this. That's just rude, and it's like you really don't care at all. If you're gonna be a true ally, here's my rule of thumb at least. Don't just repost something to your story and mention it briefly in an Instagram live with your puppy. That's the bare minimum. Like, no, that's below the bare minimum. The bare minimum's here. We need to stop attacking the branches of this problem and get to the root. In order to stop these hate crimes, we need to dismantle our own biases, whether we know that they exist or not, whether we're aware of them or not, whether your friends or family members are aware of them or not. You need to call people out on this. You need to, like, do some thinking for yourself. We also need to fight for better representation, because, like I said, representation is so important. If you don't know how to, like, interact with people, or if that's the only representation that you've ever seen, and you assume that that's how everyone is, of course, that's not your fault. It's really hard to rise above all of that stuff and, like, realize that that's not how people act in real life, even though, like, you know, the media, other sites, that's just how it's constantly portrayed. And it's like, it's hard for you to, like, differentiate. At least please make the effort to search for better representation, even if you can't find it in TV shows. Look for people on social media. Look at the places that you look at the most often. Are you a big fan of books? Look for people who fight for good representation within those fields, and, like, go, like, follow them, like, support them. For the most part, if you support Asian authors, you're gonna end up learning about the Asian experience and learn that not all Asians are the same. Wow, what a concept. If you are, like, catching up on different articles that speak about different things and make it intersectional, you're gonna learn that things are not just black and white. There's a lot of stuff that goes into something. You're gonna learn a lot. Look in those links that a lot of people do put in their bios. Look and follow accounts that are talking about these issues. And last, we need to strengthen our solidarity. We can't just have this back and forth tug of war. Oh, you need to speak up for me, you didn't speak up for me. Oh my gosh, I'm not gonna help you, I'm not gonna help you. We can't do that anymore. It's like, it's not gonna get us anywhere. What we think is making an impact is really only scratching the surface, and it's not working fast enough, and it's not sustainable as a long-term solution. Yeah, so that's the end of the video. If you would like to share anything, a personal story or anything, you can definitely do that in the comments, but please don't invalidate someone else if you're responding to someone else's comment, you know, or please don't compare to other people's situation. Please don't, I don't want that in my comments, because I don't want to delete anyone's comments, but, like, let's not compare our situations and minimize someone else's situation to make yours seem more important. Just don't invalidate others, because that's rude. You can't tell someone how to feel. If I can find any YouTubers, any people on Instagram, like, any links to help donate and support the community, I definitely will. Thank you so much for the love that you've been showing my channel recently. I really appreciate it. So yeah, I hope you still stick around for this, because I do have a really fun video planned next week. This was pretty heavy, but it must be said because no one was speaking out, so I had to do something because it just bothered me a lot. Thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, share. Yeah, and if you do know any other resources, please don't hesitate to comment that. So yeah, we could all learn together, we could all support the Asian community. Yeah, bye.